Hello everyone and welcome to the School of Serenity. In this video I want to discuss what causes social anxiety. I have identified 5 factors based on my research, and if you know of any other factors that can contribute to social anxiety, please let me know. You can add your comments in the section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And let's get started. Social anxiety disorder, also known as social phobia, is the persistent fear of being humiliated or scrutinized by others in social settings. A lot of people who suffer from social anxiety feel intensely uncomfortable in social situations. For example, they're afraid of talking to strangers, speaking in public, dating, making eye contact, going to parties, going to school or work, or starting conversations with strangers. People who don't suffer from social anxiety don't appreciate how difficult life is for somebody who has this mental disorder. And in my opinion, the first step in trying to tackle this challenge is to understand what causes social anxiety. Here are the top factors that cause social anxiety. Number 1, heredity. In general, it is accepted among scientists that there's a genetic component to social anxiety. Scientists estimate that genetics account for almost 30 or sometimes 40% of observed cases of social anxiety. For example, there are studies that have shown that people who suffer from social anxiety also have increased blood flow to their amygdala. And the amygdala is the part of the brain that is responsible for managing the fight or flight response. This is the area of the brain that creates that nervousness and anxiety response. So this research shows that people who suffer from social anxiety tend to have hyperactive amygdalas, and this is determined by their genetics. Number 2, environmental factors. We all know that children learn by watching their parents and everyone else around them. Fearful and socially anxious parents unknowingly teach their children about the dangers of social situations. In other words, they install in their children a fear of social interactions. The data has shown that people whose parents suffer from social anxiety tend to also be more likely to develop social anxiety disorder. Another way that parents can influence their children is when they are overly protective, directive, and in control, even when the situation doesn't require it. So what ends up happening is that their parents are actually preventing them from becoming independent and learning social skills. Factor number 3, hormonal imbalance. People who suffer from social anxiety are likely to have an imbalance of neurotransmitters. And neurotransmitters are certain chemicals used in your brain to send signals from one cell to another. Neurotransmitters which are involved in the brain in this case are serotonin and dopamine, and these are the hormones that make us feel happy and make us feel good. People who are suffering from social anxiety are likely to have lower levels of dopamine and serotonin. So it's very important for us to understand the relationship between these brain chemicals and social anxiety disorder if we want to come up with better treatments for people who suffer from this disorder. Factor number 4, traumatic events. One of the main causes of social anxiety is painful experiences in the past. Childhood trauma, in particular emotional neglect, is associated with social anxiety. Childhood traumas are usually pushed down to the subconscious level in an attempt to relieve the pain. People with social anxiety have difficulty in communicating with others because subconsciously they fear that they're going to experience the same traumas that they had gone through in their childhood. In other words, social situations remind them of their past painful memories. Number 5, cultural factors. Cultural factors can also play a role. For example, in some cultures, the more collective ones, in particular, people are more afraid when their attitudes, behaviors, beliefs, or thoughts are different from their peers. In other words, people feel the pressure to conform. Also, in some of these cultures, it is considered a taboo to talk about social anxiety. So many people who have social anxiety choose not to seek treatment because they're concerned about how they're going to be judged by their friends and family members. These were the 5 factors that I identified in my research as to what causes social anxiety. If you know of any more reasons and factors, please add them in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. I hope that you liked my video. Stay serene and take care. Thank you.